Let's talk about metadata. What is metadata? You probably hear that term a lot. Metadata is little bits of information that get put into a song. Actually, metadata is something that you hear across other industries, not just music also, but metadata is information that gets put into a file that isn't necessarily the media itself. So in case of a movie, if you have a movie file like an AVI or MP4 on your computer, that file, even though there's a movie that you double click it, and if you have a media player, it opens it up. But there's also information about the movie if you right click it and you have the right tools to look at the information within inside of it. So let's real quick talk about iTunes. A lot of people still use iTunes. If you look at any iTunes song, okay, and if I right click it and hit song info, it's going to show me information that is metadata that the publisher or record label has put into the song. You got the song, the artist, the album artist, composer. You have the date when it came out, the genre. Sometimes the artwork will be right here. If the lyrics were uploaded, it'll be right here. Certain programs like iTunes, as compared to other media players, might allow you to see certain data that you can't see in other places. Most of the time, it's all sort of the same amount of data, but sometimes you see different data. Well, as a music publisher, as a music producer, you're going to need to start putting metadata into your song so that if anybody likes your song, they know how to get a hold of you and they can find you really easily because you have your phone number, your contact information, they know who it's by, etc. So let me just show you a couple tools I use, and I'm not going to go way into this, but I just want to introduce this idea to you if you've never heard about it. So in iTunes, again, you can right-click any song and you can click Song Info. And if you have your own song, you can upload it into iTunes, put your own information, hit OK, and it'll save it right in it. Or if you have a bunch of songs together, you could use a program like, this is one called Tag Editor that I like. It's a cheap program. And literally, it just allows you to look at all the information inside of a song and do batch copy and paste. So I have copy and paste. So all the information in here, there's a lot of information in these different comments area, the copyright, the composer. These are songs from an album I did a while back. And a lot of these are repeats. Like if I hit file name right here, you can see, or title. So there's actually only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 songs here, but it's, the reason why you're seeing so many of them, they're different qualities. There's a main file, and then there's MP3 files. And let me just tell you something right now before I forget. You cannot include metadata in a WAV file. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that for a long time. So if you're trying to send a big, very high quality file to somebody, I always suggest using an AIFF file. It's a very high quality file. It's kind of the Apple standard. They created it, but it allows you to include the metadata in the file like an MP3 would. Unfortunately, a WAV file doesn't allow you to do that. I don't know why we're still using WAV files. I think we should get rid of them. Personally, I think everything should move to an AIFF. But you're going to find certain places like SoundCloud and things like that only allow you to upload a WAV file or an MP3 and not an AIFF. I don't know why. So I usually have to create both of them, but I have a folder of songs that I have all my different songs in, but I always upload them into Tag Editor. I put all my information in it, hit save, and it just saves all that metadata inside those songs, and it's very slick. One more program. I want to show you one more here. This is called Disco that I use a lot. And this is kind of a program that is becoming the industry standard for music supervisors and licensing agents. So when people are passing songs back to each other, they often prefer it if you send them a Disco link. So it's a cloud-based service where you upload your songs into a cloud, but so you don't have to send somebody a file. Like if you're sending music to a music supervisor, you never want to send them an MP3 and certainly not a WAV or AIFF. It would clog up their inbox really fast and they will hate you and never talk to you again. So I strongly advise you to send them a link, an email with a link in it. And the great thing about this is you could do this in Dropbox or Box.com or Google Drive or Apple Drive or iCloud, whatever. You can use those services as well, but this is really slick because it's made for songs. So, and it's made for this industry of music licensing. So when you send somebody a link, here's a song I pitched to an ad the other day, an ad opportunity. Me and my friend Celia Rose wrote this. So I just hit share, and then you can create an email in here. It shows you all the people you've sent it to. And you can go to the copy URL, and you can just copy a URL and send them this link, and it'll look like this when they get it. And so they can play your song here, and then they have the instrumental files right here that I've sent them if they want that as well. Really, really slick. And then they can save it into their Disco account by just hitting this button. I really advise this. You can also add all your metadata in here. So in this track here, I can go to album info, and I can pull it up, and I have all my metadata in here, nice and easy peasy. Lyrics, comments, writers, all that kind of thing. It's really slick. All right, I hope that helps you. I have a whole video on how to use Disco if you're part of my class. I'd love to share that with you guys. If you're interested in checking out the Triple Threat Artist Producer course, please jump in. We have a lot of fun, and it's very, very informative, and you're going to learn a lot of tricks like this. Have a great week, guys, and I'll talk to you later.